All right. Hey, accountability buddies. This is vlog number 58, and I think I'm in probably a terrible spot to vlog in. But I am in the first part, the first break of my ride. I'm 2 miles in, or like 3.5 kilometers, a little over 2 miles, 3.5 kilometers thereabouts, and decided to take my first break at a not scenic spot, little graffiti here, out behind the Shaw's supermarket, just because I knew this was going to be a spot where I could take a rest. But as you can hear, lots of noise, and I don't think this is going to be a good vlog, so I'll probably just re-record it. In about another mile or so, I'm going to hit another really busy section of Strode. Actually, 95 is right over there, or 128, which is a major highway in the area. And yeah, so the Strode is heading away and up north, so we'll see how it works out. So far, I'm feeling pretty good. Kept a nice steady 8-mile-an-hour pace. And like I said, feeling good. And I'm going to get back on the road here, and I'll keep you updated. Hello, accountability buddies. This is vlog number 58, and I am on my first longer ride. I am 5 miles or 7 kilometers into the ride. And as you can see from the background, I decided to stop at the first cemetery I came upon, because there are trees and there's shade. And even though it's only about mid-50s, I think the weather report said it was going to be 55. I haven't checked on my phone yet. I'm feeling pretty good so far in this ride. Yeah, I'm about halfway, not quite halfway there, maybe 1/3 of the way there. A little more than that. Halfway would be 6 miles. So, the first part of the ride, the first 3 miles, are incredibly busy roadways in my city. And it's pretty much my least favorite part of any ride, is getting out of downtown Beverly. There's just a lot of intersections there that are not a lot of fun to navigate. I spend a lot of my time in downtown Beverly avoiding the actual street and the road and going for the sidewalks. It's just safer to ride that way. I know it's not good cycling etiquette, but also I want to get to my destination in one piece. That is where I was hit in the past, so it does make me nervous, and I feel more comfortable on the sidewalk in that downtown section. And then when I get out of downtown Beverly and into North Beverly, there's another really dangerous section of 1A where I rode on the sidewalk. And again, I got no shame around it. Just got to do what I got to do to get out. Now I'm in a town called Wenham. I don't think it's actually considered a city, but yeah, I'm in the very outskirts of Wenham. It's a really pretty little town, pretty scenic. I like it. I used to do a job out here, actually not far from here. I used to go from house to house of people. So there's a company that had houses for adults with developmental delays so they could live a relatively normal life. And I used to go from house to house and teach art classes. And one of the houses I used to teach at is right up the road here. Beautiful home, beautiful neighborhood. It was fantastic. So, 5 miles in, a little over 7 kilometers, feeling pretty good. Of course, as I'm recording, there's an airplane going overhead because we are also not far from the Beverly Airport. That's a place I should ride out to at some point. There is a cafe out there, but every time I've driven out there to go and sample the cafe, it's not open. So, a couple of things I'm noticing about the bike. So I did replace the cables for the rear mechanicals, the derailleur, and the rear brakes, because they were all soft and mushy. They've now stretched a little bit. I did tighten them before the ride. I'm going to have to tighten them again now. And what's going to end up happening is when I get home, I am going to have to readjust those brake cables, and I'm going to have to retune the derailleur because it's a little mushy, like I said. That said, everything is going pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how things are just going with this. Yeah, pretty happy with everything. So, feeling good about the ride. I've got until 3:00. Ooh, I'm cutting it close. I got it until 3:00 to get out to the cafe. It closes at 3. So I think I'm probably another hour away. I think, Strava said I was 45 minutes into the ride, which I'm making pretty good time. 5 miles in 45 minutes. Not too bad for me. I think what I saw is that I've got about a 8 or 9 mile an hour pace. There is a section where I know I was going a little faster than that, but this is not a bike built for speed. This is a bike that is just built for commuting. It's a hybrid. It's built for, doing around the town. So, pretty happy with all that so far. And I'll check in again, when I get out to the cafe. See you later. All right. Here we are with part 2 of my very long bike ride vlog, number 58. I have completed the first 12 and a half miles. I made it out to Little Wolf Cafe, had myself a fantastic cup of coffee, took my sugars. They were all exactly where they should be, and I'm feeling pretty good. I did have a protein bar when I was at the cafe, plus my cup of coffee, which was fantastic. Now I gotta complete the 12 and a half miles home to make a 25 mile or 41 kilometer total round trip. I've just finished the first 2 miles of the 12 mile ride home. I found a route around this crazy intersection downtown, which is bad even in a car. When I did it in the car, I was like, oh, this is going to be bad on the bike. And it was very bad on the bike. That being said, I found a route that brought me out sort of on the other end of the bad intersection and just brought me closer to the downtown section. I did still have to cross the very narrow bridge, which you may or may not be able to see. My front facing cam, NoPro, ran out of battery. And of course, the minute I start recording, Harleys drive by. So this ran out of battery at some point, on my way here. I'm in another cemetery. I think I like cemeteries for shooting. They're generally quiet. So the ride's pretty uneventful. It's a pretty good ride as far as I can see. It's 12 and a half miles each way, about 20 and a half kilometers. And, for the most part, there are shoulders or bike lanes, which are just painted lanes. There aren't any actual separated lanes, which I could talk about why we need those forever. They're just safer, but, so the bike has performed pretty well. I've performed pretty well, all things considered. I have had to take quite a few breaks. Initially I was taking a break every 15 minutes or so. And I stopped here because it was a cemetery. It was about at the 2 mile mark, which is another like 15 minutes or so. And, that's been fine. But I don't think I may or may not need to do that on my way home. We'll see. There's a point, in the last half of the ride, that last hour, where I really didn't need to make all the stops, so I didn't. I felt like around the 7-mile mark, I hit a groove. So I don't know. I feel like, I got warmed up, I guess. I don't think it really took me 7 miles to get warmed up. The whole thing felt pretty good. So I'm feeling pretty good about everything. And, we'll see how the trip home goes. My top 2 bag is kind of flopping all over the place, and I think it's interfering with the cables, and that might be what is making the brakes feel a little mushy here, because the brakes do feel soft. So, and then I do notice one side is not like moving the way it should, and I think that's because I've got this top 2 bag on here, and it's just interfering with stuff. So, but soon enough, I will be switching this bike over to disc brakes, so I won't need to worry about that nearly as much. So, yeah, it's all good. I'm trying to think of like what else I need to say. It's been a good ride. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I did remember to put on sunblock, which when I did start sweating, I did get some in my eye. It doesn't really burn. It just sort of irritates. One thing I am upset with myself about. So when I was bike commuting, I bought knockoff cat eye or, what do they call it? Magic light, headlight and rear tail light for the bike. And I bought them because they claim to be about 1200 lumens. And when the batteries are fully charged, they just light up the road at night and they're very visible even during the day. And, I bought name brand. I bought cat eye, reflectors for the inside of them. So one has a nice square beam that goes across the road, and the, rear has the red lens in it so that it kind of scatters the light, but is still very, very visible. It puts out a nice glow. And I had them on the bike when I took my ride last week, and I forgot to bring my battery in to charge it. And when I first got these, over 10 something years ago, that worked fine. That was not a big deal. But the problem is that it is now. The batteries are obviously old. I had one battery that went completely bad on me. And the battery that is working, only holds a charge for a short period of time. And I left it on the bike over the last week. And when I got out to the bike this morning, it was completely dead. I took it inside to go and charge it, and it takes forever to charge those batteries. They're not lithium ion. There's some, I think there might be nickel metal. So they take forever to charge. So I don't have my good lights on the bike. I have, these little lights that are basically serve, to fulfill the legal requirements in Massachusetts for having a light on the bike. Unfortunately, I do not have a reflector on the rear end. One of the new regulations that came out is that you have to have both a red light and a red reflector on the back end of your bike, which is, it's just kind of useless. If you've got a bright enough light on the back end of your light, you don't need a reflector, but whatever. And the regulation in Massachusetts says that your red light has to be blinking, which studies have shown is absolutely the worst thing. It puts you at a higher risk of being hit by a drunk driver because a blinking red light, pulls a drunk driver in and they actually steer towards you. So I'm probably just going to disregard that regulation. I will put a reflector on the back end of my bike just to fulfill, the regulations in the state, but I will not use a blinking red light. It's just more dangerous. And I don't know why we keep getting legislation that ignores the science and the research that keeps us safe. But, I mean, we're seeing that all over the United States, so whatever. So I'm kind of peeved at myself that I forgot that light in the house. So I did, between bringing that light in and before I left, I did go on Amazon and I ordered a new battery pack, which will last for many bike rides, and I can leave it on the bike for an entire week and it'll still be charged. They do make some battery packs that you can put your own batteries in and charge them. So I'm considering that. I did rip apart the old battery pack and pull out the charging thing for it. So maybe I can build my own. I might go over to the Brickyard and, see if I can use their battery pack welder. They have one. So, yeah, that's where I'm at today. When I get home, I'm going to wipe down the bike and, run some errands because it's Friday and I don't have work today. So it's errand day. Really stoked that I was able to make the 12-mile ride. I will tell you, my butt is going to be sore tomorrow. This saddle, even though it is cushioned, I need to, I think, go to the bike store, the little cycle shop in town and, talk to them, maybe see if I can get a different saddle. This one, it's fine for short rides, like little commuting rides, but these longer rides, man, also, like, it'll probably be fine after I've done this a few times, but first time doing a 25-mile ride, things are going to hurt. I think that's just the nature of the beast. So anyway, this has been the longest vlog I have recorded to date. I'm also going to, have lots and lots of footage. Some of it really scenic and beautiful. Some of it probably kind of boring. So yeah. And as I always say, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for the thumbs up and likes and the comments. I really appreciate it. It helps me keep me accountable. And I know, like, I'm sharing this stuff with y'all and that makes, like, I feel accountable to myself. I hope that, it helps keep you accountable in your fitness goals and how you're feeling about fitness. And, if you need some accountability help, leave a comment down in the comment section and, start small. 25-mile ride might not have been my best bet. I'm probably going to be a hurting unit tomorrow. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. And I, as always, will see you next time.